Okay, so where do we want to?
All right. One day when I grow up, I want to be 100th of what you guys are, okay? Listen, if I were a pessimist, I would say we're probably going into one of the sneakiest dark ages mankind will ever experience. But I'm not. You guys bantered around the word art. Today I spent time with 20 inner city kids, taking them into a studio who listen to 50 Cent, nothing against 50 Cent, and let them see a real guitarist play guitar. This is open to anybody on the panel. Sorry, I have to break your rules. What have you guys done within your lives to talk to some kids under 13 years old or so forth to bring them to this thing we called art today? Talking about it. Anybody done anything lately?
Can I grab that one?
Okay.
I think I have a somewhat unique perspective on that because I spent over 15 years as an educator, music industry educator, various universities. And you know, my perspective, I don't know if this is exactly answering the question, but when these young adults come into your office and say, you know, I want to be a producer, artist, what have you, you know, I'd sit there and say, well, is there anything I can do to talk you out of it? And that's the first thing out of my mouth. And then they'd say, well, no. They said, you're the guy I need to come talk to. And eventually, as the conversation progressed, well, if I can't say anything to talk you out of it, then we're going to give you the best foundation that we can possibly give you, and make you aware and awake to exactly where you feel that you can fit into this whole. Work hard at it, you know, 24/7, and be, you know, just have the utmost of dedication to it. And I don't know if that goes right to your question, but
just want to know that we were involved, that all of us were thinking about that, because when you guys talk about art, it's got to start from somewhere way earlier than us.
Well, they're tossing the art and music programs out of the schools.
I know that.
They're killing PE program, for Christ's sake.
Well, what are?
No, I mean,
so
that's where it starts, because I'm sure like 99% of us in this room started playing, you know, trumpet in 4th grade or strings in 3rd grade or whatever. You know, they got, it's government, it's all us. We got to keep those art programs going in the school. We got to keep the kids in the school. I mean.
Thank you, guys. It's just a provoking question. There's no real one answer. I mean, you know, we got to take Clive Davis to the inner city again and let him see what's going on.
The Recording Academy has a great program called Grammy in the Schools. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
I've been a speaker there many, many years, and many hundreds, if not thousands, of inner city kids have passed through that program.
Very cool. Thank you.
Right. Very good question. From what we hear now,
Okay. I also have a question for the panel. Sorry. I was wanting to bring up an issue that I thought wasn't brought up yet about artist contracts and the fact that they're so long, or some of them are so long. And I know this was a situation for, I know this was a situation for Dave Matthews Band, and the fact that they really wanted to take a better deal with a different contract, but they had to finish recording one more record. And I thought that the fact that business could get in the way of the soul of their art, or as you were talking about, and they might just make like a not so quality record. And I was wondering what you guys would think about that and how the business aspect can change an artist's playing.
good question.
Well, with regard to the contracts are long because of lawyers, ultimately. Because we're always afraid something's, you know, there's something in outer space that could happen, and if we have to make sure that we protect against that so that we don't get sued. Ultimately, I try to keep them a lot shorter. That's actually my goal.
The length of the contract.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I mean,
length.
years.
Oh, you mean the term? Okay, I'm sorry.
Years.
As far as the term is concerned, there's a couple ways to look at it. It is a business, so when an artist signs to a record label, the record label is their bank and putting up a lot of money, and the artist may never do anything. And the only reason why it's coming up as an issue for Dave Matthews is because Dave Matthews is Dave Matthews. But when he was first coming to them and he hadn't sold any records or anything, and they took that chance on him, it made sense then. It's just now he's ultimately paying for the new artists that are coming up that are hopefully going to be the new Dave Matthews of the future. It's just like the movie business or any other business. The successes have to pay for the new things coming in. They pay for the failures, and they pay for the new products or the new artists that are being signed to keep the business going. So, and if he were to just write a crappy record and try to get out of it that way, well, it's going to hurt him going forward trying to get a new deal, because it's a very fickle society out there.
It's not the first time that's
I don't
happened
think
either.
that-
Yeah,
I don't
a lot
think-
of times they ruin their careers by doing that, because you forget who Dave Matthews is when he puts out a crappy record.
It's a very common occurrence that a act is unhappy with their record company at the end of the term of their deal, but just the fact that they make the music they do pretty much won't allow them to turn in trash, because first of all, there's a clause in the contract that says can't do that, but second of all, they wouldn't do it for many reasons. Their own integrity is at stake, plus the fact their audience would dissipate.
Right.
They're probably lucky to get to the end of the contract, actually. So most artists have dropped after the first album.
This being the New Directions Forum in the music industry, I'm going to primarily direct this to Shauna, although I would like any of you to answer. I think it was touched on earlier about the artist development phase not really being with the majors anymore. It's a lot with the independents. And I wanted to bring up and ask you what you thought about managers and what you thought about early producers that start with an artist maybe before they're ready to get to the major label deal part, but a lot of the support jobs that come around for people who are just starting in the industry, who are trying to maybe break in independently, not working for a major management company or not working for a major production company, who might get shafted like down the road as far as like as soon as you do all the legwork, artist development. How do you protect yourself in those areas if you are a support to an artist when the artist gets a big deal and they want to just write you out, or they want to try and not represent you for what you've done?
That never happens in our business.